Okay.
Okay. Everyone ready? Yeah. Okay, well, good morning. Welcome to Fiverr's presentation, okay? My name's Dave Bland. I work for Pluspoint. I've been working there for now nearly about 3 years. Pluspoint is an organisation that is a service provider primarily to the automotive sector, providing from containment inspection, so right at the ground level on the shop floor, through to what we're doing today, which is lean management and training, okay? Part of my responsibility within that is unfortunately I cover the whole breadth of that, so I manage the very bottom of the containment level, and also now branching into 5S lean manufacturing tools as well, and going into the training, okay? So just obviously a few ground rules before we start. Again, if we don't mind just leaving phones on silent or switching off, better. If you do need to take them, please just take them off. I don't mind, it's an emergency, okay? Just a bit of an icebreaker. If we just sort of go around the room, introduce yourself again, just tell me something interesting about you, okay? Yourself?
Roger Dickinson, I'm health and safety consultant. I work with these fellows here in our company, Coast Risk Management. Can't really think of anything interesting to say about me, but that's it.
Colin Wetherell, again working for Coast, with Roger and Steve, doing all the boring admin stuff.
My name is Mark Hancock. Interesting things. I'd need more time to answer that, I'm afraid, but thank you.
Yeah, I know you already, so there's nothing interesting.
Steve, work for Coast Risk Management, all health and safety training. I can't think of anything interesting either to talk about, Roger. But I actually learned to do a Rubik's Cube this week, so that's an interesting fact. Yeah. Self-taught. So.
Well done.
Congratulations. Okay, so like I said, obviously you've all been introduced to what 5S is already, so hopefully what we'll do today is just kind of reaffirm what 5S is, establish that learning, hopefully pick up a few new things if there's anything different to what you've seen previously, okay? So we'll go through a few stages. We'll look at what 5S is, why we'd use 5S in the workplace, talk through each individual process of what the 5S steps are, okay? Go into a bit of a practical exercise, and then just any questions answered, but please, if you do have any questions during the presentation, just feel free to ask, okay? So, firstly, obviously, what is 5S, okay? Well, obviously, 5S, it's a tool that creates the culture, okay? Okay. So obviously 5S is a tool that is used to help improve workplace culture, okay? So in terms of your benefit, being health and safety trainers, it's a fantastic tool that you can then use to go out and then implement that in a health and safety environment, okay? It can, obviously, it's linked to the 7 wastes, which we briefly talked about, okay? So tin wood wastes, okay? So the 5S involving the cleaning, that sort of thing. That will then eliminate time, motion, that sort of thing. Okay? As I just said, 5S is one of the tools working towards the lean manufacturing, okay? So lean manufacturing, anyone familiar with the house of quality? Anyone come across that before? So essentially the house of quality, we have the foundations, okay? Which 5S is part of. So it's essentially without 5S, the process being, or the ideal being, that you won't be able to get to the top of the temple, which is highest quality, lowest cost, okay? So really, really important that we get 5S at the bottom, at the foundation, okay? In order for us to progress as a company and become better, okay? Why would we use 5S? Okay, so firstly, it's a safer place to work in, okay? Again, really, really burden to you guys, being in the health and safety area. Increases productivity, okay? If we can create a culture that's more efficient, it's obviously going to create more parts. We're going to reduce time, lower cost, that sort of thing. Produces fewer defects. Meets deadlines better, obviously, because if we're now producing parts on better timescales, better attack times, whatever, then we're going to achieve those deadlines. Frees up valuable floor space, okay? If we've got an untidy area, we've got packaging in areas that we need to walk around, okay? Again, that's waste. We're eliminating all that waste. Reduces time looking for tools and equipment, okay? We've obviously seen today the effect of what that can have if it takes the average person 30 seconds to look for equipment, okay? Ultimately, it adds up to 44 minutes in a shift. So it's effectively paying someone an hour just to go and find materials, which is obviously not conducive to an effective business. Okay, and it creates pride in the workplace. If you've got a culture that instills 5S, and you can have competition in areas, so if you take pride in your work, okay, it's going to create a better culture. It's going to ensure that as we move on through these 5S steps, the sustainability is a lot more efficient. Okay. So, quick introduction to the 5S steps, and then what we'll do is we'll talk in a bit more detail about each individual one. So the first step, obviously being source, okay? Essentially, keep what's needed. What do we need? What don't we need? What could other people use within the area? Set, okay, a place where everything needs place. Really simple. Shine, effectively cleaning, yeah. Again, cleaning is inspection. Really important part of 5S. And unfortunately, a lot of people think 5S is just cleaning, but it's not. It's a lot more than that, okay? They're not wrong. It's involved, yeah. Cleaning is a really important part. However, it's only one part of 5S, okay? And I think also often, especially in sort of important visits, you'll see a massive knee-jerk reaction to quick, so-and-so customers go around, clean, get the 5S ready. That's not 5S, that's just 1S, okay? Moving on to the fourth step, which is standardise, okay? So we've done steps 1 to 3. Standardise now means that we ensure that that's where we want to be from those 3 steps, okay? And then obviously, the final one being sustain, make sure it's sustainable. We're continuously building that culture of this is what we do, this is why we do it, and this is how we want to look. Okay, so if we just move on to each individual step and try and talk through a bit more detail. So, step 1 is source, so we've currently got a messy area. What can we do to improve, okay? Eliminate any unnecessary items. Keep only what's essential to the work area, okay? And then red tagging any items that aren't required. But obviously, are too valuable or could be used elsewhere, okay? So, in order to do that, we need to develop 3 categories. 1 being keep, 1 being quarantine, 1 being throw away, okay? If the items that we use daily, you've got to keep them, okay? So, things on your desk, your pens, staplers, all your stationery, that's on your computers, you're going to keep those things. Use sometimes, you're going to keep them, it's going to be keep section. Not used, I'm not sure, we're going to quarantine, okay? Because if they're too valuable to the company, we're just going to put them in an area, we're not going to throw them away. Never needed or scrap. Yeah, if it's not worth keeping, it just goes in the bin. You've got to be ruthless within this section. Okay. Just moving on into the red tag. Okay. Red tagging is a section that we can use for the quarantine stage. So anything that we've deemed as being not needed in that area. Okay, but it's 1, too valuable to throw away, or 2, it's in a state of repair, so we need to put it in this area that someone can then repair that for us. Okay, so it's just red tagging is a visual tool that we can use to identify things that are particularly needed or, again, as I said, repair. Okay. For example, if I look at this desk here, there's a reason I put my phones and keys on there. Okay, so this is my working area. I've got my laptop, I've got phones, and I've got some keys. Okay. Do I need all that? Okay, if I'm doing a sort, yes, I need laptop. Okay. Do I need 2 phones? If they're both work phones, do I need 2 phones? No. So I'll possibly take one away, red tag it. Okay, it's too valuable to throw away. Someone else may use that. We put it in the logbook. It goes in the system. There's a phone available there if anyone wants to use it. It saves the company money because they then don't have to go buy a new phone because so and so in zone A needs a phone. They say actually there's one in the red tag area. Okay. The keys. Okay. Actually, they're not keys for this area. They just happen to be in here. Okay. So again, we red tag them. We understand where they are. Okay. What area they're for. They're for the store cupboard in a different bay completely. Whatsoever. So we're doing these items. We're red tagging these things. Okay. Really simple, but really effective technique to try and go through. Okay. Any questions on salt? No. Happy with that? Again.
Can I just say something?
Gosh.
My alarm's going off at enter for your car.
Right.
Didn't want to interrupt you.
Are we there now?
Well, no, but that's why I'm looking at my phone.
Right.
Just so I don't think I've been rude.
Right.
The alarm's going to go off.
Do you need to pop out? Do you?
Just the car have to do something with it because it's limited down here.
Yeah.
So we'll work in there.
No
at the
problem. Yeah,
time.
just get up when you're ready.
So just when it's got a few minutes.
No problem. Yeah, so we're clear on sort. So next step, obviously, we've done the sort, okay? We've taken areas out, we've identified which items we're going to keep, which are in the quarantine, which are thrown away. Now it's about putting everything back into place, okay? Place everything in its place. That's quite a prevalent message that you may come across. You've probably seen that, Roger, working in Rossi Automotive.
Yeah.
Again, another sort of misconstrued quote. People think that quote purely is 5S. Again, they're not wrong. It is part of 5S, however, it's just the one step. Okay. So in order to do this, we need to set essential items in order. Okay. So what items do we use most frequently? Okay. How can we locate them easily and quickly? Okay. And then it's retrieve and return. So if we're taking that away, we need to put it back. So ways in which we can do this, obviously, we need to sort of bear in mind what it is we're using. So if we're using materials, are they the right height? Are they in the right location? You know, if I'm on station 1 and I need parts A to D, are they in the correct order? Okay, do I use that one first, that one second, that one third? There's no point me the first part I need being 10 yards away of that corner. Okay, because then we're looking at waste again. We're looking at time and motion. Okay, these are all things that cost the company money and you're reducing productivity. Tools. Okay, we're setting them in order. So again, which tools need to be where and why? Trolleys. Okay, mark footprints. So we're looking at introducing, colour coding. Okay, so if we're using red areas, for example, for anything that's waste, or scrap bins. Green for anything that's good. Okay, so it's good parts. Yellow could be work in progress. Okay, so clearly identifying areas that and how we're working, operating. Items not needed hourly, so it could be filing cabinets. Okay, files. They go in a filing cabinet. Okay, one of the best things. I don't know what's in your filing cabinet there, but if you have got files up there, one of the best things to do is to get a roll of tape. One is the other. Bang it across to the bottom corner. Okay. As you can see, it will make so line. If anything's out of place or missing, then you know someone's taken it. Okay, it's visual management that clearly identifies where things should be. Okay, because you know it should be in order, it should be in that direct line. Okay, that's one of the really, really simple tools. Okay. Other tools that we can use, as we previously discussed, are shadow boards. We can use foam. So if people have got mechanical components, so nuts, bolts and things, they can use foam pockets that only fit in there and they're identifiable. Okay, and again, footprints which you talked about, which is marking out certain areas, the green and colour coding and what have you. Okay. Can anyone think of any sort of examples where we'd use shadow boards? Dave? Garages, yeah. Anything else?
Maybe like a cleaning cupboard, if there was mops should be in its place.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
I mean, one of the really crucial examples actually that people start using now is hospitals. You think of why we using hospitals?
Colin?
No, in hospitals where I work at, they don't. They do.
In theatre?
Yeah, so in theatre, so
Yeah.
why would they use a shadow board for
So
that?
they know for all the scalpels and whatever.
Yeah,
We could
exactly.
speak about that afterwards.
Just so they're not
Your
ending up
personal
somewhere they
experience.
shouldn't.
Well,
That's
yeah, no,
certainly
it
true.
is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the key thing is obviously
Yeah.
lawsuits of leaving equipment inside
Yeah.
people during surgery. If they've got a shadow board that says actually so and so scalpel's missing, where's that gone? It becomes increasingly obvious, and you're not, filed with lawsuits in the future.
It's in Derek.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not as unusual as
Do you think?
what you think. Actually.
Well, exactly, but that's why these things become so important. To reduce that risk, and obviously, especially in your environment, which is about reducing risk, these things become extremely important. Okay. So these obviously just a few things of what we've been talking about. You can see the shadow board there. You can clearly see that one part is missing. We've got the foam holders there again, so with washers or whatever they're in there, clearly identified. They all go into a certain one, okay? So if you go to that station and you need so-and-so part but it's gone, okay, then it's clearly identified. We're not searching around, scrambling around areas looking for certain things. Okay, that's just an example of a customer that I work with. You can clearly see they've got footprints, okay, so marked places for identifiable things, areas for good parts, for jigs, okay. Everything's sort of in its place of where it should be, okay. we all be with set in order?
Mm.
Yeah, any questions? Okay. So shine. So as I said before, one of the misconstrued things about the 5S is that people think the 5S is just simply clean and you know, to shine the elements. Obviously one of the really crucial things, but obviously one of the easiest things to do, yeah, it's really easy to have it clean, but if you haven't done the previous steps before that, it becomes actually very difficult because you're just cleaning around the mess, okay? So, cleanliness should become part of the team culture. That's what, essentially, to reiterate what 5S is, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a culture, to instill it in the workforce that this is what we're trying to do, okay? We've done a couple of previous steps to make it easier for the workforce. We've identified what we need, we've put it in the correct place. Now it's about how we look after it, okay? Make sure it's carried on to be clean, okay? So there's a few ways, obviously, we can do this in terms of the cleaning process. So shine means inspecting by using our 4 senses, okay? We need to use what we've got. So we can use touch, okay? Is a machine warmer than normal? Is it warm? Okay, all these things can identify areas that we need to improve. If it is warm, if we're using I don't know, rubber matting or whatever in a press, has it become warm to touch? Yeah, is it worn out? If it has, we can red tag it, we can flag it to maintenance, but it's by doing this cleaning inspection that we identify that. Smell, obviously is something melting or burning, okay, that's a really obvious thing we can do. Sight, obviously looking at you know, are there any leaks, any oil leaks, okay, if you're mopping around your equipment, around your tool, if there's some oil leak there, we know we've got an issue, okay, but without doing this shine elements and without doing the sort and set so we can get to these items in the first place, we wouldn't know, okay? So obviously, like I say, we're looking at cleaning as inspection. The whole thing just allows you to identify these problems. So again, really prevalent for yourself, health and safety issues. If we're doing the cleaning aspects, but these have become really, really identifiable. So that'd be one of the things that I will personally take away from this, is how 5S can impact health and safety, is that clean element really allows you the scope and the vision to see where we can improve. Okay. It obviously then decreases damages and malfunctions. So if we're looking at these things using our senses, we're detecting things early. That's the point of this. There may be an oil leak, so if we can stop it when we found it, that's great. If we're not doing the clean and we haven't sorted it, so we can't get to it, it could have been going on for months, and we're going to have a major malfunction. It's going to cost the company a lot of money to repair. Okay. And again, if we do find any issues, we can fix and tag the issues. Okay. Good question, Roger. Why would we do sort, set, and shine in that order?
Because if to sort it first, you're taking out materials what you might not want to use. So you're limiting the amount of work what's going to have to be for setting and shining.
Mm.
So it's more of a structured approach.
Yeah, happy with that. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Can't clean my room because I get distracted by all the cool stuff I find, yeah. Maybe a bit of an immature picture, but it's really prevalent, isn't it? That's what we just talked about. We can't get to the island because we did, the stuff in the way, and oh, look at that, we've got that in the way, and we can't get to it anyway. So again, it's that mindset, it's about building that culture that it's not just to clean, it's about doing those previous steps that allows us then to clean, to be, to get to where we need to be. Okay, happy with Shan? Yeah. So the fourth step we need to do is obviously standardise. So we've done steps 1 to 3. We've identified what we need, put things in order. We've had a good clean. Now it's about how can we make that the standard? How can we make the employee's role and responsibility to ensure that carries on? Okay. So very simply, standardising working practices ensures all work is performed exactly the same way by all the team members. Okay. So this is really important. So this is where your standardised work comes in, which is not just about the cleaning schedule, but it's about standardised work instructions. So it's how we operate, are we doing things in the same order every time, which ultimately then gives us that sort of close to guarantee that we're going to get repeatability of the quality coming out, which is where businesses want to be. Okay. So obviously ways in which we can do that, we have the standard daily, weekly, monthly cleaning routines, whatever it may be. Okay, so daily, or could be even shiftly or hourly. If someone's working on a press, they may have it in their work instructions to clean it down every 10 parts. You know, this is ongoing maintenance, this is ongoing cleaning, it's ongoing 5S. Okay. Standard work procedures we just talked about. It's about building that culture within their step-by-step process and making sure that everyone's following it. Colour coding, okay, and then obviously assign responsibility for the routine tasks. So again, that can be built into the work instructions. So it's Roger, it's your job to clean your own desk, okay? It's everyone's responsibility to clean their own desk, okay?
It's picking on you, Roger.
But it's also your job to clean up, hoover the floor on Friday.
Because you can set the stage.
Well,
That's right.
I didn't
I
want
wonder
to
why.
empty the bins.
Yeah, exactly. But it's about establishing whose responsibility it is, and again, building that culture. So I know if I'm in that workplace, what I need to do every shift, every hour, every week. Okay. Okay. So this is just again a customer example of the before and after. So this is about the standardisation. So this is especially in my industry, the automotive. This is things you will find on a lot of workstations. So it's the before and after. It's all about where we don't want to be to where we need to be and what we expect. Okay. So clearly see before we've got parts scattered all over the benches, paperwork that shouldn't be there. We've got everything's out of order. We've got a bit of 5S in that the bins marked out and things like that. However, they're required standard. Yeah. We've got better footprints. We've got footprints on the table, so we know that where parts should be, where good parts should be, where the jig should be. We've also now got a holder in there to say that's the part I'm working on. That's my inspection standard. Okay. You can just clearly see it's a better environment for them to be in. Excuse me. Obviously on this one, they've also got their audit scores on there. Okay, so we've talked about radar scoring before. These are using a traffic light system. Okay, so we can see we've got all the 5S on there with dates going down. So you can clearly see in audit 1 wasn't particularly good. Going through, they've made improvements. Okay, and slowly the reds are starting to turn green and amber. Okay. That's also followed up by some actions, so what they've done and who's done it. Okay, that's also a really good way to do it. So you can see where we've been and where we've got to. Okay, so again, visual management really key in the standardisation, just allowing everyone to be to have access to, okay, and then be able to perform these tasks that we're expecting them to do. Because without these standardisation processes, how would you know what to do? You know, we need to train this out and create that culture. Okay, so that's standardising. Everyone happy with standardised? I know this is really simple, but this is obviously the introduction to each one. Okay, sustain, which is the final 5S. Really simple. It is just about maintaining the previous 4S's. Okay. Again, creating that culture, creating that pride in the workplace to make sure that they're doing this. Okay. Ways in which we can do that is audit the process. So that can be at various levels. It could be a team leader doing the audit every shift or hourly, whatever that may be. A weekly audit again by the manager. And another laid audit could be the area manager for that particular process. Okay, so we're looking at instilling that auditing process to make sure that these things are in place. Because it's only by auditing that we obviously can check these processes are in place and being maintained. Repeat and improve. So if we've done a 5S exercise, obviously this isn't what we're doing today. We're not going to do this because it's just classroom based. But if we were to go do a 5S exercise and it works and it's great, roll it out to the company. Okay, let's go and do another area. Compete and participate. Again, this is some of the culture and ideals that some companies adopt. If we've got a particularly clean area, reward them. You know, whether that be bonuses or whatever it may be, or trips away. What it will then do is encourage the rest of the workforce to think, quite fancy a piece of that. You know, let's take pride in our work, which is again a really, really simple thing to do if we can promote this culture of the excellence. Okay. Happy on sustain? Yeah. We should have been short for time here. So just to recap, obviously 5S, simple tool that improves productivity. Really important, improves safety, okay, and eliminates waste. Okay. Before we go on to the quick exercise, which you will whiz through because you may be experiencing this. Anyone got any questions on the 5S steps so far that we could? No? You all happy? Okay. we're going to play the numbers game again, okay? However, I'm not going to be as kind as your previous tutor and give you 2 minutes, I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Okay, so our job, we're in a factory, it's our job every 20 seconds to count the numbers 1 to 49, okay? However, the team score will be the person who achieves the lowest score, because ultimately if this was a manufacturing line, if you get 10, you get 20, but you only get 5, would you? We've only made 5 parts. That's how it is, that's reality, okay? So I'm going to give you 20 seconds and count to, see if you can count to 1 to 49, okay? Excuse me. Okay, that's it, that's one cycle done. Steve?
Couldn't you find one?
Yeah,
done
one's
this.
difficult to find actually.
Mark?
5.
5?
Like Steve couldn't find one, so I was spending 2 and I'm looking for one.
Okay.
I got to 13.
13, okay.
But one is under the 54, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
I
so
for some
I'm
reason I
okay
can
with
never
that.
find 2 on that bloody thing.
Two's at the top
Okay,
right hand
yeah,
corner
Yeah,
of the
I found
quarter.
it. It's obvious now.
Yeah.
Right?
I thought that was 2 under 54.
No, that's
No,
it.
it's
That's
one.
Ah, right.
It's the same picture you saw earlier.
Right.
So, in that round, we made 0 parts. That's in the manufacturing environment, that's how it would be. Okay? So we clearly see that in a chaotic environment, the productivity is 0. We can't make any parts in this environment. So, what can we do? We can do the sort exercise. Okay? So we know that we're only counting the numbers 1 to 49, so we don't need 50 to 90. Okay, so we've done the sort, we've identified what we need. We do the same again, having now done a 1S. Okay? So I'll give you 20 seconds. No.
Oh, flipping heck.
And that's cycle time what?
13.
Sorry?
13.
13, Mark?
I got to 6, I couldn't find
6,
5.
okay.
I got to 8.
8.
I got 27.
Thanks, Bert. Okay.
It's
So
just
Mark,
making
you're
more
6, yeah, so
sense.
the low score was 6. So we've clearly gone, it's not a huge improvement, we've gone from 0 parts to 6 parts as a team, okay? So by removing the numbers that we don't need, doing the sort exercise, you can clearly see the benefits, okay? So as we move on to 5S, what we see now is set, okay? So what we can do is set them into areas, okay? So what we're going to do now is introduce the grid system, okay? And you'll notice that, I'll give you some hints. The numbers will appear from bottom left hand corner, going up 1, 2, 3, down to middle 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? So we now introduce the grid system. So we'll do the same again, 20 seconds, and see how we can achieve, okay? Okay. See?
31.
31, good.
24.
24,
32.
32,
33.
33. Okay, so 24 is the team score. We quadrupled our production just by doing that simple set exercise. Okay, so again we can clearly see what we're building towards just by introducing these factors. Okay, so
That's a better way of doing it this way.
thanks, Mark. The rest of it. Sorry, yeah, of course.
You carry on.
So obviously we can't do a shine exercise in this because it's just a numbers game. We can't go in and clean the numbers. So let's assume we've done one to it. Now it looks great. Okay, so we need to standardise. So what could we do to standardise this to make it more effective so that every 20 seconds we can count 1 to 49? What could we do?
Put the numbers in a complete order.
Standardise the size of the numbers.
Yeah.
Put them the right way up because I couldn't find 19 because it's upside down.
Exactly. Okay. Simple. Yeah. 1 to 49. That's the easiest way to do it. So. You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
I think glasses improved. Is it that bad? No, so clearly, obviously, we've done we've done those 3 S's, obviously missing out the shine, but by standardising our work, how simple would it be now in 20 seconds to count 1 to 49? It's that environment, okay? Okay, so we have one more way which we can do this, okay? So sustain, so how can we ensure that we're doing this? And this is a really simple exercise, okay, that we're just going to highlight the importance of doing the other 4 steps, okay? So within this one, there's 2 numbers missing, okay? So we've still got our same task, it's still our job to count 1 to 49. However, you need to, I'll give you 20 seconds to identify which numbers are missing, okay? So go. Okay, 20 seconds.
7.
7, okay, any?
I didn't get another one.
Well, I got to 15
Just because I couldn't find 7.
in order.
Yeah.
Alright.
You didn't know.
I didn't notice it was missing
So
number.
Mark, just for your benefit, the point of this was for the sustain was there's two numbers missing from this.
I can see
So-
7 now.
7's at the bottom right.
Yeah.
This is the chaotic environment. So the idea was to try and pick out. We're still doing the same task. We're still task for 149, but we've got to identify the missing numbers. Okay. But again, if we had our previous 4 steps in place,
Is that
previous 4 steps in place, it's obviously very.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'll just.
With
Oh,
you.
sorry.
No problem.
Go on.
Just keep going.
Go on, keep on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the idea being, we've done our previous 4 steps by having the sustain in there and the standards. And we've done all those steps. We can clearly identify which numbers are missing. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Never visit.
Okay. Thanks so much. Any questions on any material we've covered at all?
What numbers were missing, sorry?
So numbers are missing?
42 and.
No. 18. 42.
Alright, yeah.
So the idea was
Yeah,
we're just demonstrating by having it in
Yeah.
this order by doing the previous 4 steps.
Yeah.
Steps.
Yeah.
It becomes really apparent what's missing. Okay. Any further questions?
No, I like that example. That is a better way of doing it than the way
Yeah.
I've seen it done and the way I did it as well.
I mean, we could combine the 2 ways and do them after each
No,
step.
I actually prefer
Yeah.
that. It flows better for me.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Brilliant.
So, feedback.